Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Jennifer. I run a travel blog called Where To Now Jenny. It's always linked in the description box below if you want to check it out. In today's video, we're going to be talking about sailing on a cruise out of the port of Charleston, South Carolina. If you've seen either of my last two videos, then you know that we recently went on the Carnival Sunshine on a 4-day cruise to the Bahamas out of Charleston. And I noticed when we were going that the port did things a little differently there. And I wanted to give you a few little tips and tricks for if you plan on sailing out of that port to make your trip go a little smoother so you won't be surprised at how differently they do things. So let's get started. The first question you're probably going to ask yourself is, where in the world is the port? Well, it's actually in downtown Charleston. Fun fact, I lived in Charleston. I went to middle school there. I lived there 1 year when I was 5 years old at the Isle of Palms. So I was pretty familiar with the downtown Charleston area. And even I was surprised at where it was from I-26. You're going to want to take the East Bay Street exit, and then you're just going to want to follow East Bay until you start seeing signs for cruise parking. If you see Harris Teeter, you've gone too far. I'm going to post on my blog a map that I made of how to get there, and then I'm also going to pop in a picture right here of what it will look like, and you can easily print that out and just follow it along. Once you get off at that exit though, it's pretty much just a straight shot down East Bay until you get to the cruise parking. All right, now let's talk about parking. Parking is $20 a day, so they will charge you up front when you get there. So for us, it was a 4-day cruise, so it was $80. So let's start at the beginning. You'll follow the signs to cruise parking. I think you'll turn on like Lawrence Drive, and then you'll follow around. There'll be plenty of people telling you where to go. Their first stop will be to pay, and they only take credit cards, no cash. So be ready with your credit card in hand to pay. Like I said, $20 a day. For us, it was $80. She swiped the card, and then she gave me a receipt, and then she stuck a sticker onto our car. And I'm gonna put in a little snippet from our car because I still have the sticker on the car, so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is the sticker that I was talking about that they put on my car. Sorry about the lighting. The car's in the garage, so just working with natural light. But it's rained a few times since we went on the cruise, so it's a little ragged, but it's like a paper sticker, so you're gonna have to use a little bit of elbow grease to get that off your car. After you've paid, your next stop will be to the porters, and be ready because it's going to be sort of a line. You're going to pull up, the porters are going to take your luggage, and then you're going to drive off, but there's going to be people behind you, so be ready. Have your cruise tags already on your luggage before you ever get to the parking lot. That's going to make things go a little smoother for everybody. And also on that same vein, make sure you have any of your documents out of those bags. Don't let them take your passports, your boarding pass, any of that you're gonna need until you get your luggage back or like to get onto the ship. So just, they'll remind you, like they even said to us, do you have your passports, do you have your boarding documents, all of that. But just be sure before you pull up to that porter area. After you've left the porter area, there's going to be plenty of people telling you where to park. So they're just going to shuffle you around. You'll drive, I think when you come out of the porters, you'll make a left, and then you'll just swing around. And then based on how many cars are already there, then you'll fill into the lanes. All right, now let's talk actual embarkation. Once you've gotten your stuff out of your car and you've left your car, you'll follow the signs, and there'll be signs, they'll be about 3 feet tall, little like triangle signs on the road, and they'll point you to building 324. And it's not gonna look like what you're used to. You're used to going to the terminal right next to the ship. But 324 is actually gonna be across the street from where you can see the ship. So don't head toward the ship, actually follow the signs to 324. It will be across the street. There'll be someone there directing traffic to let you cross the street safely. And once you get to that building, there will be a Carnival employee there making sure you have your passport and your boarding pass in hand so that things will go a little smoother. Also, I should say you don't have to have a passport if it's closed-end loop. You can also have your birth certificate and driver's license. But I'm just going to say passport is like a general citizenship documentation that you should have in your hand before you enter the building. Once you go into the building, you'll file you in as a regular check-in process. You'll go to an agent and they will check your passport, make sure that you have a picture for security. And for us, they just used the picture from our passport. We didn't need to take another picture because we still look like our passport photo. So for that part, it was easy for us. Then they stamp your document. Make sure they stamp your document. So you don't want to get to further down the process and they haven't stamped your document and you have to come all the way back. So make sure they stamp your document. There will actually be 2 more people making sure they stamp your document. So someone should catch it before you get on the shuttle bus. Once you leave the agent, you will go through one person checking your document to be stamped, and then another person, for us, was checking once we got outside to where the shuttle buses were. From outside, you will board a shuttle bus. They will direct you to the shuttle buses. There's just a line of them there and they fill in as people come. And then once the shuttle bus is full, they'll take you over to the ship, which for us was about maybe a 2-minute ride. It was just across the street. Once you get off the bus, you'll get in line again, and this is the line for security. So the metal detectors and where you put your belongings through the x-ray machine. They will make you take everything out of your pockets, so be ready. You might even want to, they made my husband take his wallet out and his cell phone and put them in my bag. So if you want to do that before you get up to the front, that would probably make the process even that much easier. Then after you've gone through security, you will have the option of taking the not the onboard, or what are they called? The photos they take, the boarding photos, the embarkation photos that the cruise ship photographers will take. You'll have the option to pose for one of those, and then you board the ship. So it takes a little longer than any other embarkation process that I've been through, but it seemed to go smoothly. It seemed to have enough people there to make sure everybody got on in a timely manner, and I really appreciated the organization of it all. Just a couple of more tips. When you get to security at the actual, where the ship is, at the actual port, they will let you know that you can put your passport away or your citizenship documents, but keep your boarding pass out because you will not actually get a cruise card until you get to your cabin. So you'll need that boarding pass, that paper document, to board the ship. If you want to purchase anything before the cabins are ready, once you get on board, you're going to need that boarding pass so they can scan your the barcode in the upper corner. So keep those out, but you can put your passports away. Now that you've had a wonderful cruise and you're back to the port of Charleston, it's time for disembarkation. And the day prior to disembarking, we had a sea day where they gave like a disembarkation talk where they went through the process of what would happen. And it was very informative. I didn't go. I watched it on the TV afterwards. So it seemed pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time so you can be prepared for what's going to happen. Charleston is a silent port, which means they won't do any announcements over the intercom. There are condos and apartments and homes right next to the port, so they don't want to interfere with those people that early in the morning. Also, they ask that you not use your car alarm to try to find your car in the parking lot. On that same vein of not disrupting the people that actually live around the port. That being said, we did hear 2 announcements the morning of our disembarkation. One was just a general, we're here and we're going to start disembarkation process. And the second one was a sort of them telling us that people were coming down before it was ready, and they were turning people away if you tried to sneak off the ship before they had actually called either your deck for self-assist or your number for luggage. So just be aware that you're not going to be able to leave super early unless you have faster to the fun or something of that nature. All right, when the ship has docked and they have cleared customs, they will start the disembarkation process. Like I said, there was an announcement, but I am not sure that that's something they do all the time, since they did repeatedly say that Charleston was a silent port. What you're going to want to do is turn your TV to channel 14, and there will be a sign, I guess, on that channel, and it will tell you which decks they're calling, which luggage tags, they're calling, for people who put their luggage out the night before. And then at the bottom it will tell you which numbers and decks they've already called. So if you missed it, then you can go back and see which ones they've already called. Now for us, we were on deck 9 and they didn't call 8 through 10 till 9:30, I think, and they wanted us out of our rooms by 8:30 so that the cabin stewards could start cleaning. So we left our room at 8:30. They still hadn't called us. It wasn't a big deal for us because we were driving. My parents didn't need to be at the airport until like 5 p.m. and we were just driving home, so it wasn't a big deal for us. But you should probably be aware if you try to get an early flight out of Charleston. I do believe you can get a transfer through Carnival and then they will give you like an early tag to get off. But just be aware, if you don't plan on going through that process, if you plan on taking a taxi or an Uber to get back to the airport, that just be aware that you're gonna need to be one of the first people off. And I'm not sure how you're gonna be able to do that if you're on an upper deck. Because for us, it was, I'd say 9:30, because I was starting to get nervous because they said everyone needs to be off the ship by 9:30, and it was 9:30 and they just called decks 8 through 10, which meant that we all had to go down there and get off the ship, and we all had our luggage, which, you know, that means that all the elevators are full and everyone's trying to get down the stairs and it's just a madhouse. So we sat in the Havana bar until it was time, but there are no TVs in the Havana bar, and it wasn't saying anything on the Carnival Hub app about who they were, which decks or luggage tags they had called, so I had to keep going back to, I went outside by the pool and kept checking the TV. So you're gonna, if you wanna find a place next to the television, then that would probably be the handiest thing, because we were in the Havana bar because we had just eaten breakfast at the Lido. So, but yeah, I would say if you want to be in the know immediately after they've called you, then definitely sit somewhere near a television. So once they have called you, then you're going to want to head to deck 3 forward, and that's going to be where the exit is. They're just going to scan your card. Then you're going to head down the gangway and to customs. For us, customs was fairly easy. They asked us if we had bought anything. We said no, and they said, welcome home. So I know that if you buy a lot of alcohol, or I think it's $800 of stuff, you have to claim it, but we didn't really buy anything on this trip, so it was a fairly painless process. I also meant to say that once you get down to deck 3 to exit the ship, they are going to want you to have your passport or your citizenship documentation and your sign and sail card in your hand when you are in line. So be ready to have that available, and if they say anything, you need to show it to them. If you have parked in the parking lot, when you exit customs, they're going to form a line. They're just going to keep telling you to keep right. So you're just going to turn right out of the customs area, and then you're going to turn right again, and you're going to form a line along the side of the building. And then they're going to fill you into those same shuttle buses that brought you to the port, and they're going to take you over to where the cars are parked. For us, they came and went in groups of 3. So they would take your luggage. There was like a shuttle bus and then a trailer for luggage behind it. So they would fill in all the luggage and then put you in a shuttle bus and then take you over to the parking lot. And then once you got to the parking lot, they would unload the luggage before they would let you off the shuttle bus. So just be aware, don't jump up and try to run off the shuttle. They're not going to let you do that. So then you, after you get off the shuttle bus, you get your luggage, get in your car, and go home. All right, that is all of my tips and tricks for sailing out of the port of Charleston, South Carolina. If you guys have any questions, then I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. It was only my first time out of Charleston, but I felt like it was pretty self-explanatory, but some things probably would have been confusing if I hadn't done any research beforehand. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to try to help. If you want to follow along with me on our next cruise, which probably isn't until May, we're headed out to Canada on the adventure of the seas. So super excited about that. But if you want to follow along with that, you can follow me on Instagram at where2nowjenny. That's mostly where I do my like real-time updates, stories, and pictures from our cruises. I would really appreciate a big thumbs up if you like this type of video, so I can know to make more of these in the future. And other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.